This conference will now be recorded.
All right, well, good afternoon. Welcome, everybody. This is PODER Academy's 2019 Facility Plan with State Construction Department. I'll just check here, Amber, that maybe if it'll allow me. Anyway, we do have in-person and both video conference as well. So, Randy, you've joined us and stuff. Why don't we have you guys in the office introduce yourselves first, and then we who are on the video conference will introduce ourselves after you guys.
Michael Burnett, I'm a project manager for SFP and over in the design and construction division.
I'm Randy Poppert. I'm a landlord for both PODER and PASS academies.
Amber Leach with planning here at State Construction, and my role here is to work with the districts and charter schools on the documentation for today's facility plan.
Rod Adami, I'm the accounting analyst, and I basically provide the team with information from the AIM database.
Good afternoon, Brandon Finney. My role with the team is to work through the facility planning process, identify any funding needs that needs to be presented to the legislature, and then compile that with the team and present those.
Go ahead, Jed.
Hi guys, Jed Segrella. I'm the finance director with Laramie County School District 1.
All right, wonderful. Thank you, Marcos.
Hello, Marcos Martinez, CEO and founder of PODER Academy Charter Schools.
All right, welcome this afternoon. I'm Troy Decker. I'm in planning. My responsibility is make sure we abide by all state statutes, rules, and regs in the facility planning process, make sure we update our database and have accurate information to do reports to the commission and the select committee. And then I'm also part of the budget team that makes recommendations to the state legislature. So with that, we're going to go ahead and roll forward. I didn't hear Paul Severson there, guys, so he must not be there.
He is not here.
Okay, thanks a lot. All right. Someone turned on track changes, so I'm just going to leave that and keep going. Not a big deal at all. So with that then, let's kind of start going down through here. So it looks like the charter school was approved and reapproved, I guess, July 1 of 2018, and it's through June 30th of 2021. We just got kind of a screen capture there of the approval through board minutes. All right, so the building is not owned by the district, so we go down to it's not owned by the district, and so certain statutes apply. One of those is the simple fact that we are obligated through state statute to pay leases, which is a main portion of today's discussion. So it looks like, and I'm not quite sure who made this comment, but
Yeah, that was me, guys.
Okay. Buddy, why don't you talk about that in a minute, and what's your comment on that for the block grant?
Yeah, so with regards to the budget bill and the footnote that was included authorizing the funding for PASS, there was this additional language that, as you noted, includes the operations and maintenance funding as a part of the consideration. Now, you'll notice in my comments there on the right that I didn't know if this would be subject to the PODER discussion, since that's where we're starting, or if this this funding adjustment is only required with PASS. And so that was just one area that I pointed out that I wasn't real clear on. But kind of the impetus there is that the way I read and understand the statute is that as we're examining the cost of the full service lease for the facility, we have the maintenance funding from the model allocation, which would include, funding for supplies, maintenance supplies, utilities, custodial, groundskeepers, those type of things, and how that's, I guess, accounted for with regards to that statutory change.
So Jed, this is Brandon. Weigh in on that. So I worked with Matt Wilmar from LSO quite a bit on this. The funds for PODER that have already been appropriated, that's going to go through and will continue as is. They drew a line in the sand moving forward with PASS, the budget on House Bill 1. That money would be applicable, and I have a document already developed that LSO has provided about the funding and how that works. And then going forward from here on, it's going to be this methodology. So when we get to the budget stuff, I can pull that up and we can talk about that. So
Okay, but so with regards to PODER, that wouldn't be applicable for at least this part of our discussion today.
for this is, yeah, that is correct. For PODER, it's not part of the discussion because that money was already appropriated.
So Brandon, if I'm understanding you, then the next agreement should not include, it should clearly state, of course, that the lease, within the lease is the taking care of the building, routine maintenance and that kind of stuff, and utilities, correct? Within the lease amount itself should be covered.
Yep. So what I was going to do is clarify that the different appropriations, how they're going to flow in to provide these services in there.
So Brandon, this Randy, so the term resource block grant model, is that money that's from Department of Ed? Is that what you were telling me?
Yeah, so what would be easy is I could just, Troy, do you have access to the InDrive? And if not, I'll email you the document.
Okay, where do you want me to go?
InDrive reports to annual report 2019. And then go to, it says 9, tab 6. And go to 1, charter school lease financial book.
I'm on VPN, so it might take a little more. As that's loading, let's finish these notes, Brandon.
Okay.
There we go. It's good. Go ahead.
Okay, so enable that. All right, Jed, so here's what happened. These columns here, go to the far left, and I'll walk you through it. Go to the original data set. So the statute says that we take a dump down, will pay the average cost per square foot, right? So this is the data set. So then scroll to, that's all their costs by city, by agency, all the leases like over 2,000, and it has all the costs and stuff. The next thing we did, go to the pivot table. Okay, so I took that data set and created a pivot table to calculate the average cost for each city. Then I provided the data I got from LSO, go to the middle tab. Jed, this is what Matt gave us. So scroll down a little bit, downsize it from 130 to maybe 100. Go to the far right.
Hey Jed, if you take your video off, we might have a bigger screen here.
On the major, on the, we're in, so the 137, double click that.
173, you mean?
137,000.
137,521, column U.
Oh, right there. Okay.
Yep. So Jed, what Matt did is he said, okay, WD is paying Laramie 1 this amount of money, and it totals, go ahead and hit escape, and it shows custodians, workers, grounds, all the maintenance and stuff that they're getting a check for. They're paying 137. So what the legislature said is, hey, we don't have WD for this stuff. They need to give it to the school district, who then gives it to the charter school to pay for a portion of the lease that you're providing the service on. So really, you got 2 checkbooks. Now go to pivot table by city. So this is your cost. You take that times your square footage, gives us the total, and then they subtract out the funding model. So what you need would do essentially is you give the check to the charter school, if I'm correct, they would have to pay the lease out of that portion, and then we're going to pay a portion out of the state. So there's two flows of money coming in to pay for the lease. Is what's going on now. They don't want to double pay.
Can you say that one more time?
The districts, there's two flows of money coming in to pay for the lease. One of the flows is coming from WDE to the district to the charter school. And then the other flow is coming through the state construction department.
Whatever's left.
Yeah, yep. We take the total cost. Wish I could drive the computer. Take PODER. Let's go through PODER. So click on G.
That one here, G3 or G4?
G3. Double click it. So see, it says, hey, in Cheyenne, we pay $17.59 and lease this amount of square footages. So then hit escape. So the bill is $535. Oh, this much is coming out of. Now click on the 160, 149.
That comes through the block grant, right?
Yeah, exactly.
This comes through SFC.
There you go.
No, that's what I include in the monthly payments to the charter schools.
Exactly.
That's part of the block grant.
Yep. So it's important for the charter school to know that when they get this check, how it's going to flow to pay their bill. The payment's the same, it's just the flow of money's changed.
So Brandon, if I understand you, then when new appropriated funds will come, the WDE funding model money will quit, and 100% will be through the state construction department. Is that correct?
I don't think that's a plan. But I'll let Brandon fill in.
Yeah, that's not the plan. The plan from here forward is to back out WDE's payment, because they're not going to go over and overhaul that statute and how that money flows. They're going to keep that the same. We just need to make sure we back that out. And that's why Matt did such a good job of putting all that together, and he pretty much said, here's what we're paying. Here's what's flowing through WDE. Now, Jed, if you have any, we probably need you to vet this to make sure you and Matt's you agree with Matt's numbers.
Yeah, and if you don't mind, would you jump to that estimate FY 2020 funding model on MTAB one more time? These are exact numbers that are pulled out of the funding model. So I concur with all of what we're seeing here. Okay. I think we made a couple adjustment. Well, a adjustment to pass. I just sent that to Randy and Marcos yesterday, but it looks like I'm just looking at the end here. So totally. So that in that 137 that you have there, is that running off of a breakdown by? Okay, so that's adding actual costs. Okay. And then, if you don't mind, would you scroll to the left so I can just see column A, just to see where?
Oh, sure.
Okay, and so just for a little bit of clarification for the group, I was trying to track why my figures were slightly different, but these are Matt's estimates for next funding year. So Marcos and Randy, if you're looking at the payment summaries that I send to you guys every month, it's going to look a little different because we're funding you on 19. So the figures are slightly different on what you're being paid right now. So this is a projection for next year.
Yeah, so Jed, what we talked about, Matt and I were discussing, is he says, so we got to put ourselves, we have a lease with a landlord, and he says, how are you guys going to keep doing these adjustments every month? I said, we can't do a lease and an amendment. Hey, this month I'll pay you this. Next month amendment. This month I'll pay you that. I said, we'll probably just lock it up for the biennium, and that's our liability, because you can't jerk the person around every month. It's up, down, you know. So that was sort of how we thought about structuring
Plus,
that.
you can't obligate the state for a future
There you go.
year, so
That-
does it have to be by year? Or
Well, we were gonna do
biennium?
by a biennium, because we're getting ready for the 21-22 biennium. So that's the other thing, is we can't, maybe it goes up a little bit or down. If it goes up, we can't say, oh, we gotta go to the legislature. That door doesn't open. So you get the big check, boom, it sits here, we divvy it out over 2 years. Get another check, divvy it out. Which is
Well, I think that's the timing is a kind of an important aspect. So if we're talking about the lease that goes into effect on July 1st for PODER, so just make sure I'm tracking correctly. So we would use the funding model estimates as kind of Matt's lined out here, as opposed to waiting, because as you know, our funding system is continually adjusted well through most of the fall. Minor tweaks for calculations, in particular with the charter schools, because PASS is funded on enrollment in October. But so would we just use that set amount that we have at the time the lease is approved and then just not change it? Am I tracking right?
Yeah, I mean, once we go into the budget, we sign the lease, we get everything reconciled.
Locked in for 2 years.
It's locked in 2 years. We have the cost known, and we pay the bill. And then the next
2 years goes by, you refine per inflation and then do another 2 years.
Yep, because right now we're paying 17 and change. 2 years it could be 19 and change.
And then sign another 2, and then it's locked for
Yeah.
another 2 years.
And then we roll with the biennium as the appropriations come in. We have everything in a nice system.
The leases tie into that 2-year period.
Yeah, so we know exactly what check and what our bills are. We just pay.
Well, the
Next
other
check, bill.
piece of that is the funding model calculations will change on a year-to-year basis. I mean, we could have external cost adjustments. Their gross square footage could change. A good example is PASS, where they were occupying just the one floor, and then the next year, second floor. If we would have froze them on the first year with the lease agreement, and this is all hypothetical, and then the next year the model adjusts for the additional square footage, we could kind of get out of sync with what the model's allocating for routine maintenance and what's being netted from the lease on your side.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know that I have a better idea. Just pointing out that there could be a disconnect there.
Understand. I mean, I'm open to any suggestions, but I know from Randy's perspective, every month we do an amendment with a check attached or something. I don't know.
Right.
Well,
It would get pretty complicated. Any thoughts, Randy?
Well, just a quick, when you go, again, I don't know the funding like you guys do at all, but when you get a 2-year biennium budget from the legislature, I'm guessing you can't change that, right?
No.
That's a given.
It's fixed. Yeah.
So whatever happens with anything, unless you go for a special deal like we did this year,
All right.
right?
Yep. You can come in a supplemental budget.
But typically, I mean, from here to eternity, every 2 years we'll establish the number with the lease and the biennium at the same time.
Yep.
Based on the best information we have.
There you go.
Right then?
Yep. And that's the cleanest, right?
I think that's the only way it could happen.
Mm-hmm.
Well, just kind of along those lines. So, and feel free to interject if I'm astray here. But so if the appropriation is $460,000 from the legislature, but after the calculation for the market rate for the gross square footage and then the funding model comes in at 410, then we could only resource the 410.
That is correct.
Okay, but we can't go over. I think it's a small distinction, but I think that appropriated amounts the cap as opposed to the exact amount.
Yeah, and when we talked about, they gave us the 412. So we have 412 in our checkbook for PODER. Sorry, PASS for this lease. And once we run this calculation, whatever's not needed from this checkbook, we'll have to revert back. You know, because the other is going to be flowing through WDE.
Okay, so Brandon, what notes do you want me to put here to capture this?
Only thing, we had a lot of discussion. I mean, Jerry, are you cool with that process, the 2-year snap, and we go to the legislature, we get the money, You know, does that work for you?
Well, I mean, I think so. The only other option I can think of is if, rather than trying to adjust the lease on a month-to-month basis, if there was a way, you know, that we did once the funding model data was finalized, if you had been resourcing, let's just say for the sake of argument, where the lease is for $2,000 a month, and then we find out later that it should have been $1,900 a month. If we could just do a one-time correction on the lease, but again, I'm just kind of thinking out loud as far as trying to meet what the legislature intended with that adjustment, and then the reality of where we are with having to amend leases. Is there a way to have a clause that says subject to final calculations through the Department of Education or anything like that, that gives us an opportunity to just do a one-time adjustment on one lease payment? Because as it's structured now with PODER, we receive the appropriation from you guys, and then we will resource that to them once a month for them to meet those lease payments.
Okay.
So we would have an opportunity, if we needed to later in the year, if it worked with the lease agreement, to make a final adjustment or something to that effect.
The con to that is if it goes up on the school's checkbook or on the state construction department, we wouldn't have the funds to even pay it. It could go the other way.
Because we're locked in.
We're locked in. We have no more money.
Yeah, I mean, could it say not to exceed? I mean, just throwing ideas out there.
Well, Jed, just to jump in on that, going up, especially with pass, its attendance is going to go up.
Yeah.
So
you just capture it though in the next in 2 years.
Yeah, my proposal is 2-year lease, snap the data, pay the bill, move forward, 2-year lease, and get in sync with the legislative budget process. Because they're not going to want to see us coming back and say, well, this year it went up, I need an extra 50 grand. I really, dealing with the charter schools and the legislature as much as I have, I don't want to see and do that.
Yeah, and I think the way I would describe it is, well, I think you were spot on in the beginning, is that we're really talking about two pots of money. At the end of the day, they're going to be fully resourced for the lease. It's just where we're taking the money. Are we taking it partially out of the foundation model or through the lease appropriation? So really, it's a shifting of resources to me. So if the funding model increases the operation and maintenance, that would decrease the obligation on the lease side. But at the end of the day, the charter schools are still getting their full allocation to meet that lease agreement. It's just shifting those resources, and it's a little bit fluid as the student counts change, external cost adjustments, all those other components that are going to cause the model to fluctuate over a year. I don't know that, and maybe I'm kind of looking at it more of a micro level. We're just looking at the model calculation adjustment as opposed to having to renegotiate the lease costs and where we are with the market analysis for the gross square footage. All that would stay fixed. I certainly don't want to make this more complicated than it needs to be, but just trying to figure out how we would address I guess the ebb and flow of the way the model generates resources.
Yeah. So what do you have? SCD appropriations are based on a 2-year snapshot. Lease can be adjusted for less, perhaps one-time adjustment.
Does that capture what you guys talked about?
The shifting of resources may be adjusted. I guess they will be on the. Either way, you're going to adjust your payment to the charter school, Jed.
Well, I'll have to adjust it just as the student counts change. So all the formulas embodied within the funding calculation. So as you guys know, the factors as far as, well, even custodial and maintenance staff are going to use a number of data inputs from the district, like how much experience do custodial and maintenance workers have within our district and those type of things. So it's always going to change on a year-to-year basis in total. And so I think we're trying to figure out is the spirit of the footnote to do that on a year-to-year basis, or set it for the biennium and leave it be.
I think it has to be biennium, because if it's year to year, you could run anywhere you exceed it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Jed, we're in favor of just a biennial budget, and from a leasing perspective, I mean, that to me seems clean.
Well, and I think that's fair. I think on the lease side, I just I'm trying to grasp why we wouldn't have the lease set for the biennium, but this model adjustment, if we just call it a model adjustment, would be annual. So if the lease is 410,000, it's going to schools are going to get 410,000 for 2 years, no matter what. But it might mean that 1 year, 390,000 of it comes from from school facilities, and then another 20,000 comes from the funding model, and then next year maybe it's 15,000 from the funding model, and the rest of it comes from school facilities. But certainly, if you feel we're in line with the appropriation, I mean I won't get in the way of the process. I'm just thinking along those lines.
I'm thinking.
But your statute still maps out that you've got to follow those lines, does it not, or does it give you the flexibility in the statute about vary from that?
It just says the amounts to be distributed under this paragraph shall be reduced by the extent the amounts are duplicative of cost funding or paid for by an alternative mechanism, including pursuant to 21.3.110 AX.
Yeah.
Well, Matt will be over here because we'll have to see how I think we'll ask for a biennium request, and then if he wants to do something different when we start going through this, we can. I'd still want to go back to the supplemental at all.
Okay, let's leave it there for now, guys.
Okay.
So you were talking about the racetrack. Someone
Right.
was.
Yeah, that was JC's meeting, guys.
So Randy, what's the status on PODER and the addition? Could you walk us through that? Because right now, what's your current square footage and what's your addition?
The current right now is 20,000, is, as you see there. The gymnasium on the main level would be 16.8 and the racetrack would be 4,800, just as that's been amended.
Okay. So 20,903. Yeah, this is our little sheet here.
So if I can clarify a little bit why I added that comment was just how we treat raised tracks with regards to educational footage or even just regular square footage. If those are considered additional for your guys' calculations, or if the gymnasium is 16,800 square feet, do we add another 4,800 square feet for the racetrack, or would it be 16,800?
Right. The answer to that is yes, we do add it. It is physical education space.
Scroll back up real quick, Troy. I'm looking at one thing. Okay. And go to that sheet you just had up, that one PDF. All right.
Are these numbers different than what we had in the? This is 4,800, 16,800. Now this one's dated back in December.
Yep. The one we took to JAC.
So this isn't most updated.
So you're looking at 42,503 square foot facility. If you take your 2,903 for the base plus.
Oh, I'm looking at the wrong place. Sorry, guys. Still.
Plus your 4,800. There's 4,400. Here are your drawings done. The finals put on the gym and the racetrack and all that. This is last winter.
Yeah, I don't know why the numbers are different.
And that's where I was heading for. I was going to go here and go into PODER and see what the exact number are. So see column F of PODER. Right now I'm short 42,503, but we can only pay up to the allowable. So I was going to see what the allowable is. Does that make sense? And do we have that captured?
Well, we don't in this. Well, here's the 17 again. Let's go back to your spreadsheet. It should be 1759, right?
Yeah, because we're preparing the 21-22 budget.
Okay. So let's walk through this real quick. We've got the 2,903, the gymnasium at 16,800, and the 4,800 for the racetrack.
Yeah.
So do we confirm that that's 42,503?
Yep, that's what I got. So we're good there.
Okay, so far so good. And now you're going to multiply that by your 1759, correct?
Yep. And that is 700. $47,627.77.
Now, now these are already built or going to be built?
Well, it's going to be built.
Okay, but we're trying to prepare for the biennial budget, therefore we need to project out, correct?
That's what I'm doing, yep.
What will be, okay.
Yep.
All right, so we're going to multiply that by what?
Occupancy, June 30th. July 1st, right?
No.
No? July 2nd?
So what'd that equal, Brandon?
Okay, that equals 747,627. Okay. Go into the spreadsheet and enter that number, the 42,503.
Okay, where's that going to go?
Right there.
Right there, the 30?
Yep.
42,503?
Yep. Okay. But the only thing is what's our allowable? So we can't pay above the allowable.
Well, that's based on October 1 numbers, right?
Yeah, so,
Or yeah. Would that be based on ADM?
yeah, exactly. So it says our allowable is 28,364. Is that, let me go into the square foot calculator.
Add in the cost of a new chair.
Randy's breaking chairs over here.
It's just
Is it
one.
really?
Yeah,
That's definitely a deduction from the appropriation.
yeah. Yeah, I got
But I think I was injured.
We're put calculator.
You're probably traumatized as well.
You know, it looks like it should just go on.
It should, it goes in but won't stay in there.
So what do we use in ADM again, guys, on the allowable?
It's an elementary school. I'm doing it right now.
Or are you just doing you're just doing the enrollment number? We're not doing major.
166, right? That's 28,346.
What did you do?
That's right. I put in elementary school 166 design capacity. I drank 28,346 square feet. Yep. Okay. Now take your 42,503 and paste it below that what you just did. And change that to 28,346 times 1759. So this is where the district's building, or they're building a greater than their allowable. We talked about they're having more.
It passes to the opposite.
Okay. Less.
It's less
Than their allowable.
Yeah.
Yeah. Zero to 10 employees. Here's their allowable.
Okay, I think I understand what you're doing.
Yep.
So what you need to do is take that 28,346
Roger that.
times the 17, right?
Yep.
9 equals.
And then go put that in the calculator or in the budget sheet.
28,346.
28,346 goes into
Right
put
there,
there.
right?
Yep.
Oops. Okay.
There you go. Okay.
Which number are we looking at here?
Well, let's run through, double check. So the total's 498. You take the estimated funding model that comes from WDE checkbook, and click on that. Click on the other one, the 3 column I. To take your total. There you go. Then yep. So the total is the 498, 160 is coming from WDE checkbook, 338 is coming from SCD checkbook. Then you take the 338, you times it by 2, here's our biennial request. 676. Does that make sense? Okay.
What was it? 79 or something? 338, 339.
Yep, annually. But we're doing a biennial, so you need times it by 2. There you go.
Okay, which equals what?
There you go.
Should equal that number right there, right? This 676.
76, 678. From State Construction Department.
Okay, everybody agree?
Yes, take out that 42,503, 2 lines up. Get rid of that stuff.
Oh, this right here.
Yeah. Now, Jed, do you want to state in here the money that's flowing to the charter through
Through
WD?
block grant or
Yeah, block grant.
You mean as far as it'd probably be good to have that projected amount, that, what was it, the 160 from Matt's spreadsheet?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And what do you want me to say there? Is coming through the block grant or coming through the,
Is provided by the block grant annually. That's an annual payment. And then times 2 for biennium equals blank.
okay, what's that going to be?
I'm doing right now. 323
325.
298. And maybe you do another line below that and say total biennial lease.
Say that again.
Total biennial lease total biennial lease equals 996, 976. That way, when we do our lease, we can get our contract done.
I think we're good.
And that one I fixed, that's a biennial.
Biennial. Yep, total biennial lease, so that way we know. It says who has to pay for what. We pay for a little bit, our share for a little bit. Total for Nina's approvals.
So we want to duplicate this for pass, right?
Yeah, we probably should.
Yeah, just like that.
Did we miss anything?
Say
Sorry,
that
did-
again.
I just want to make sure we didn't miss anything he might need in there, Troy.
I'm sorry. Which one you want to look at?
Just on that, I was just wondering if Jed needed something that on his financial side, some note or something.
No, I think this looks fine. Thanks.
Okay. Tracks and deeds, property profiles.
So real quick, go up to the picture, would you, Troy? So the plan is to build right here, right?
Yes,
The 16 is like here
there.
or here?
Oh, where the tennis
Up
courts
here,
are.
okay.
Right here.
Yep. So essentially, once the CO comes, then it meets it, then we can pay the lease. You know, like we were telling JC, look, we got a bill that's gonna be coming. They said, all right. So whenever that happens, you know. Okay. We think it, the schedule shift from July 1st?
Yeah, I'm sure it will. The city's gotten involved,
Oh,
so,
good luck.
yeah. So we're in the middle of that now.
Don't see. Yeah,
We just don't go build a building.
no, I
So anyway, we're dealing with that now.
gotta talk to your architect about that. Tell him to get on it.
Let me ask a quick question. When you guys said, is it fiscal year 21, 22? Is that what you're calling it, or school year? What do you?
It's fiscal year, yeah. So
July
whatever,
1 to July 1.
yeah, so the money we're asking for now will become available in July of 2020.
So it's the year following,
Mm-hmm.
is how it works, okay.
Yeah, so that's what we're preparing for, is the check to come that day. So what we're talking today, we'll get July 1st, 2020.
Okay.
All right. So Amber, if I'm reading the below notes, excuse me, guys, I'm sick here, but basically a property AIM update form needs to be filled out when the construction is complete, correct?
Yes, we would want to do an AIM update form because we'll start that property profile in the Laramie One profiles so that we can track information and tie any capital money that flows through to that property.
Okay. All righty. So these numbers now they're a little bit different from above or not?
Those are net numbers
Okay, got it.
without walls or anything.
Up here is gross. Okay.
And we're going off the allowable based on the kids.
Yep. Okay, any other notes? Brandon, need to be here?
No. Let's see. Please note the above. Okay. I'd say we should say something along the lines of allowable square footages are used to calculate student facility sizes for the SFC methodology. Because somebody else picks it up, they may not know all that, right?
Well, they're gonna know that square footage is a derivative of ADM.
There's another thing, yep, utilizing the
Might as well put
ADM.
that in there to start the sentence.
Yeah.
Well, it's enrollment though, guys, right?
Yeah, or you added it at the end, yeah.
Yep, that works. Allowables.
So also in the notes, if you guys wouldn't mind, can you put the notes in? I know you just said July 1, 2020 is the new money for the new biennium, but could you put the notes in of what that would be in that point and also what it is right now?
Okay. This is total biennium lease payment from July 1st, 2020
To July 1st, 2022.
to June 30th, 2022.
Okay, from July 1st, 2020?
2020 to June 30th, 2022.
Okay.
That's the check we're asking for.
Okay, so that's this number right here.
Yep.
Well, it's this, right. It's this number right here. Am I getting that right? Nope.
Well, from his perspective, it's the total.
Oh, okay.
Two checkbooks.
This number right here then.
Yep. So maybe what you could do is say total biennial lease from July 1st, copy that from July 1st to the end and put it right after the word lease. Yep. Does that help you?
Let's see here. Yeah, if the dates are helping, and then if you put the dates in for the current year we're in, that'd be great. The current biennium.
It's 18 to 20.
Yeah.
Do you have that number?
Oh, the cost and all that?
Yeah.
I don't have that in front of me. We'll data mine it up.
Well, isn't that in last year's facility plan?
It's in, yeah, it is actually.
So, Amber, if you could send that facility plan from last year over.
I'm looking, I'm after it.
I'll just say, then just confirm, but this has been sent to charter school. Okay. Anything else, guys?
Nothing on PODER.
Okay.
room.
So we don't have authority to do, I mean, it's not our responsibility to do capacity analysis. We're just supposed to do allowable square footage based on actual enrollment. Condition doesn't matter because they're not getting major maintenance. The district doesn't own the building. Okay.
We could also
So
say, pass was appropriated funds in House Bill 1.
When you just put that in the past one though, Brandon?
yeah, that's a good point. So no, we can just say no additional appropriations.
Yep, so that was for PODER.
So you're clarifying that there's no major maintenance funding because it's not owned by the state of Wyoming?
No.
You-
Correct. That's
so
correct.
The same thing for security dollars, right? So there is no security funding.
Right.
Does that need to be stated in the facility plan?
Troy, I found last year's, or that number for the biennium. When you're ready, let me know.
Hey, Troy, on that note though, under legislative review, wouldn't we say pass was appropriated funds in House Bill 1?
Well, no, because this is just PODER. Pat, we're going to do that in the pass
I'll shut up.
template. No, that's right. Now, all right, so let's go down. So this is the actual, guys, this is the actual biennial budget, right?
Yep.
So,
This is the amount of money there.
so we really could have put all this stuff down here. We'll just replicate it.
Copy of that, yeah, just a square.
Oh, just the square part.
Yeah, just that allowable, yeah, we just need to.
Actually, it's just this one right here, correct? We're responsible for the 676, 678.
Yeah. Let me add that to the database real quick.
Troy, are you at home?
I am in the basement of Coe Library at University of Wyoming, coughing all over the students. Yeah, I just wasn't feeling well today, and I didn't want to take it to the office. So,
Thank you.
yep, yeah, I just I'm in a corner.
Yeah, you don't sound good.
Troy, there was others that were out today too, so you're not alone.
Are they working?
Nope, they're at home. One above them. It's all good.
Okay, so excuse me, guys. The lease facility arrangement between PODER and building owner, funded through the state of Wyoming, has proven to provide. Okay, good.
Can you
Any
give me-
final?
Yeah, one more thing, if you don't mind. I know it's already been approved from the biennium for this year already, but could you just put the amounts in the notes? It would just be helpful to get a look at how comparison to next year.
Amber, well, we could, Amber. So, Amber, you said you do have that number?
Okay, hold on. Slow down. Roll down. Sorry.
Hold on.
And roll down. You have it captured. Keep on.
Go
I
down.
have it captured already.
Go down to another section where you inserted the, keep going. Keep going. Okay,
Oh, right here.
there, you've got it right there with the insert of the 832,599. And I did send you the last year's facility plan if we needed it, but you already had it.
Okay, thanks, Amber. Good job.
I'm right with you, Troy.
You're all over it.
course.
Okay, guys, that's about it. Anything else that needs to be discussed before we end our meeting and we start the next one? We'll just keep recording on the same one. Is that correct, Amber?
That's what I was going to do because they're kind of
Okay.
brother sister situations,
Yeah.
but we wanted to separate the reports just to kind of keep them separate.
What number did he
Okay.
just, I didn't track it up there.
With this one here?
Yeah, I think that's the number.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, there's a second one. This is the one at Montessori School in Albany County. Is the second one.
I couldn't find it fast enough to see where you were. Okay.
That's why we show this like microscopic so you don't read the fine print.
Okay.
Okay, any final words before we close out this facility plan? Anything else needs to be discussed before we go on to the next?
I just wanted to make one comment, Jed, just to keep you in the loop. I know that you use comment section in the editing. I will integrate your comments into the charter school section, saying what you have brought in. Make this document a lot better to present forward, okay?
Yeah, no worries.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, if I don't hear anybody else, let's see. We do. Jed, do you want this sent to you as the business manager to sign it, and then the charter school, or where should it go?
If you don't mind, just send it to us, and I've already vetted this with Dennis, and he's had a chance to look at it. So but why don't you just go ahead and leave it blank and send it to me, and if for some reason we can't agree on who to sign, we'll all sign. We'll get it signed.
Why don't we do one additional thing, Amber, and I know what you're going to say. Dave Bartlett always wants to look at these, so we'll kind of funnel it through him first and then you. Is that okay?
It's fine by me.
Okay.
So I'll add a line for Dave, but I have to know who I'm sending it to because of DocuSign. I can't just send it to the group.
Dave and then Jed.
Okay, will do.
And then the charter school.
Perfect. And
So,
charter school, Marco, do you want to sign this year instead of Nick?
Actually, you know what? Let's just keep it just consistent. Let's have Nick sign it.
Perfect. Thank you for validating that.
Thank you.
all right, I'm going to save this and close it out then. And Amber, you're going to finish up with the notes and stuff and bring Jed's questions in, right?
Right.
Okay. Now we're on to the next one, pass. Paul still hasn't shown up, I take it.
No.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
All right, so this is the charter approved through the Board of Trustees.
Hey, Troy, fix the district people.
Oh, did I? Oh, I'm sorry. Thank you so much. Good job. Yep, they just leave poor Jed all by himself to deal with us. But he left them to deal with us this morning, so fair turnaround.
Yeah.
This is not owned by the district, so we're good there. Okay. So Jed, I think we're going to have the same discussion. So I put this down here, guys, allowable skirt. Okay, what's the design capacity going to be? Or what is it based on the known
What?
for pass?
Do you have the enrollment, Ed?
Say that again.
Do you have the enrollment?
October 1 enrollment.
It's in that attachment right above on the
Oh,
Adobe.
and this one here?
Perfect.
Yeah.
Okay, so
22? Is that correct?
the middle
Plus
school, 57.
It's
Okay,
57 and
oh,
22.
I see what you're saying. I got it.
22.
79? Okay.
And let me run back through here, so middle. Check my numbers here. 57.
Don't you have to separate it on the calculator?
Yeah, that's what I'm doing. So middle school drives 17,136.
17,136.
That
That's
was
on the
just for
middle
the middle
school.
school.
High school is 7,058. And that should be in his document that he attached, I think. So the total,
Well, so what was the high school?
7,958. Total is 25,094.
Okay.
Do you want to put the number of kids behind 79 design, just to show the breakout? The 55?
Yeah.
Yeah, who goes to middle school and who goes to high school?
Just the.
Middle school was 57, correct?
7
Yeah.
middle school, 22 high school.
Okay.
Right. Now, what's the additions here? Go back to that PDF that Jed stuck in there. I think it had all our math. Yep, 25,094, okay. Existing is 13,288. These are the additions. So this is what you got on the ground. This is what you're allowed. Existing, expanded occupancy, building area with new gym. So then you're gonna go to 23,688, right? Yep. So that's our number right there. Man, can you take a snap of that data? I remember me and you did all that math heading to JC. That if,
Well, we've got this, but what do you want now?
yep, so 23,688 needs to go on the spreadsheet.
But wouldn't you use that student numbers? It'd be this plus this.
But the
Right.
building's not even that big.
Oh, I see.
A little bit less.
It's less.
Oh, I got you. All right, so over here.
Yep, 23,688.
Oh, you got it already. Okay.
Got it. All right. Let me write some number down. I'll help you fill it out.
Okay.
And all right, got them. All right, so on your 29, second. So what's the square footage of the building after the additions? I didn't get that. I didn't write that one down. Go back to that PDF, would you please? Right, 23,688. Okay. Got it. So the 29,054 should be 23,688. Actual plan to be constructed. So Randy, don't build it, the city holds you up and then we pay, what's on the ground. If you get it built, then, but we're gonna go ask for it as if you're gonna build it, and you're gonna get the CO July 1st.
Oh, I liked it. No.
All right, 23,688, action plan to be
Yeah,
constructed.
so that equals 416 grand.
Even
416,
or
416 $671.92.
How's that? 672.
So go to our spreadsheet.
You'd
real
round
quick,
up.
Would you?
Round it up to a 3.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you said 1. Okay, what's the total there, guys? Times 2.
Troy, can you pull up our spreadsheet?
Bet.
I'm gonna check something. Oh, the Excel
Oh.
that Matt and I put together. Okay. 416,573. Okay, go back there.
You had 573, you said?
That's what that spreadsheet shows. Right.
Okay, let's double check, guys. This says 416,573. I might have mistyped there. This is 416. Should that be 5?
Yeah.
Okay. Which is a total of what?
Well, it says it on the spreadsheet, right?
Mm-hmm. 833,148. But that's not from SCD, I mean.
What's it from?
That's the total.
Okay, I guess I'm not following you. 416,573 times 2 for the biennium.
Yeah. Take your Word document, snap it to the left, and then put your Excel on the right. We could just see both of them if you can. Yeah, and then take the other one, snap it. There you go. Times 2 equals.
Should be 70. Oh, I got 146, so I could be wrong. Makes sense.
That should be the total.
Yep.
You've got. Let me do it. So instead of the 160, that should be the 137,521. Next line down is provided by block grant times 2. Equals 275,042. 275,042. Okay. The only thing is here is looks like our layout changed. This, Troy, we need the school side. Oh, the top one, this is what's screwing us up.
So it's 17.
Yeah. Yeah. So where it says 2368, actual plan to be constructed, but get rid of that time 1759.
Okay.
And put equals 279052.
Okay.
Get rid of that 4 stuff. Times 2 equals 558,103. There we go. Then at the bottom, total binding lease is the 2.
Okay, which is?
Did I screw anything up?
Good job.
Hope someone else is running the calculator, double checking. Not that I don't trust you, Brandon.
Second guess myself, man.
840 something. Let's see.
And he's got
833, 145. 558, 103. 275, 2. Let's see that. 558, 103 is definitely right. I'm gonna do the 137. All right, 21 from WD checkbook. 275, yeah. 833, 145.
Okay. All right.
Yep.
Hey, Brandon, will you guys go back and amend that with actual allowable before you present in the fall, or will it just kind of stay as is when we get the final ADM counts for this year?
No, because this budget has to be, it gets approved by the commission in July.
Okay. Well, just on the chance that you do or want it, we'll have the ADM to the state by, what is that, June 15th. But by then you probably have to have all your documents submitted. So
Yeah. So June, I mean, we could touch base and see, but let's do that. I mean, then right before July, we could adjust if we needed to.
it all hinges on WDE getting allowable figured out and meshed out.
Well, and again, guys, when we size like K-12 buildings, it's always through enrollment, not ADM.
Yeah.
And it's always that October 1 number. So I don't think we would want to adjust it because that's not how we size buildings when we're REMing them.
isn't your allowable calculation based off the department's ADM though?
Well, for major maintenance payments, yes, but that doesn't have to do with major maintenance. It has to do with sizing of the building. It'd be the same calculator we use to size a building when we look at a remedy based on enrollment.
Okay, I'm tracking with you.
Yep, that makes sense.
Yeah, thanks.
You betcha.
Hey, go back up there. I want to put this in our database real quick. That number. This is pass. Lease. Okay. SCD 558103. Got it.
Good.
Yep, thank you.
You're welcome. There's a beautiful school. Look at that. Okay. So obviously, and we don't have, I thought we had pass in there already as a property profile. Is that a no?
No, they just getting approved after this school year.
Right. So we can't really put it in until it's officially approved.
Yeah. That's why.
Through WDE is what you're saying?
Yeah, I don't know where it's at now, but I know when we were in the supplemental, they were going to approve it. Jed, it was supposed to happen in the spring-ish of 19.
Well, the school's charter is approved. I think that's where we were kind of leaving it. So I think what we need to do is I need to, maybe Randy, you can help me with this. I need to fill out the addition, the AIM database update form.
Yes.
And then I think, Amber, I think you said that needs to be routed through us, but most of that information, I think, Randy, you'll have to be able to fill out the form and then we can submit it on your behalf.
Okay, so somebody will send me, Amber will send me the form?
I will send it to both of you to cover base.
Okay.
So when you guys do, will you assess the educational gross square footage or not? You guys don't need to, right? Or you're not required to?
No, it's a leased facility, so we won't do a condition assessment on it. I mean, that's essentially, it's a full, that's why they've almost adjusted it to full service too, is because we don't get major maintenance on it. Instead, we just pay the additional cost so that guess you could say it's sort of baked into the numbers to take care of the facility. Baked into the lease payment.
Okay, so it's not owned by the district, therefore major maintenance, once again, is no longer or not applicable,
No major maintenance and no security.
and no security. That's correct. So what we should say is no capital funding other than lease payment.
There you go. They are eligible for lease payments.
Okay. So I just put the state statute in here, guys, with regard to responsibility for, there is something, it's kind of interesting, subject to review from the state construction department. Assistance, fix the site of each school building, if different in an agreement. I mean, review, basically, I would assume review is our facility plan meeting here. Doesn't really say what that review needs to necessarily be. But down here, so it has to be approved, charter. Department determines no adequate educational facilities exist within the district for operating the charter school. That's why we asked this question up here, guys, right? Where is it?
Building not owned.
Somewhere up here, I thought. Oh, is there potential space in the district to house this? The answer is no. So we're covered there. We've asked that question and confirmed it. Unless Jed's going to move out of his office.
Yep.
And then, of course, you know, I think WDE needs to approve it, which you're saying, Jed, what? They have or haven't, or?
I don't think they'll approve. I think the question was, we were waiting to build the record in AIM after the charter school met the requirements for the renewal of the lease, the 3 years of operation, those type of things.
Okay.
So I think we're good.
All right.
Yep, that's correct.
All right. So we probably should say like increased. Do you agree with that, Brandon?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Okay.
In addition, based on enrollment, I think they're gonna add grades and stuff, more kids will be coming. So there'll be some expansion.
So I'll go capture just these 2 lines here for the budget request, which is the top 2, correct? Yes. So we got that captured. Okay. All right. Anything else, guys, before we close the meeting that hasn't been discussed that needs to be?
Troy, just, if you could go up just a notch,
Sure.
where it says charter notes, is that number 39,000, is that correct still? Does that tie into the rest of this?
The proposed lease rate for the 20 or 22 finance.
So we
I
need
don't
to-
know. Amber didn't put that one in.
Well, let's see what I got.
So we just take the biennium and divide it by, or the annual and divide it by 12?
Mhm. Yeah, let's see what we submitted to. Let me go back. So we told JC. Handouts, JC. All this was done on the fly, and you left it,
I did.
yeah.
I thought you had it well under control, so.
Want to give me the state credit?
Yeah, I could. So that's still good?
Yeah, well, you don't have the facility, the bricks on the ground, right?
Right.
So here's what we said, proposed annual cost, 23,688 square foot times $17.40 a square foot for 12 months is 34,347.60. And that total came to 412, which is what the appropriation is. So let me try to flip back. That's bill one. The second, Troy, I'm just double checking the history here.
No problem.
412171. That's where it came from. Yep. So
Okay, so
we budgeted. So we need to do a lease, and what I think we do is we pay you what you got on the ground once July 1st hits. It was budgeted $7.40 a square foot for what you got on the ground. You got 13,288 square foot standing, right?
Yeah.
288 times 17.40. That's 231,211. Yep. So we have the money, and then whenever you get the CO and they move in, we do an amendment.
Through you
Mhm.
in the district both do,
It's just us,
it's just you?
yeah, and the charter school signs it, I think, too.
Okay,
Because it's money flowing from the bill to the commission, so that's why. And anything to release that money has to be on a commission-approved contract.
okay.
Yep. So we probably need to have a meeting to work through the contract and get it set up. Maybe
Yeah.
because it's
What
May, April, May, June, July, take a little time. But
Okay.
yeah. So we start getting revenue July 1st for the bricks on the ground. If you can talk to the city and get the rest of the bricks on the ground, you can get more revenue.
We're working on it.
All right.
Okay, well, that explains that.
Yep. So yeah, that all takes size what we had.
so is this okay, Brandon, what I typed there?
That's based upon the build out. See, because we testified in a handout in JC that, Randy in the district or the charter said, hey, we're heading forward with an addition. So we gave this to them in a handout and testified on it. So they gave us the money based upon that.
Okay.
So money's in the bank. We just need to wait till the bricks are on the ground to pay the full amount.
Okay, so with that being said, then let's say that it's late on it. Would it be prorated? Would it still be the entire amount? How would that work?
It'll be prorated. Yeah, it'll be it's gonna be based on the 13,288 square foot until you get a CO. Once a CO is down, achieved, then boom, the rest of it's available. So without a CO though, there's no kids sitting, no butts in seats, so we can't turn on any money. Came out at the city's building office, get it figured out.
So until then, maybe you might want to put that in the notes as well, what you just said, that until that point, it's going to be this amount of money versus after the CO, it's this amount of money. That way
Yeah,
it's clear.
Troy, give me 2 lines and
Okay.
say, pass is currently available for funding based upon the 13,288 existing square footage. At a rate of $17.40 a square foot. For a total of $231,211. Number 2, once charter has obtained CO on
the additional square
the
footage.
additional square footage, they'll be eligible for additional funding in the amount of $180,959.
Say it again.
$180,959.
Which is like what is that, like 5,000 square feet or something, 6,000?
Yeah, it's 8,000.
8,000 square feet.
$23,688, yeah. I mean, me and you spent a lot of time heading to this meeting, so. Does that help you?
It does. I appreciate that. Thank you for laying it out. That way we know.
Yeah. No problem. So just to follow up then, what I'll do is I'll work on getting draft contracts and stuff. And then we can have a meeting to review the terms and make sure everything ticks and ties.
Okay.
So when the July 1st starts, we've already vetted it and we're ready to go.
Perfect.
We could even sign it with an effective date of July 1st, so we're done ahead of time. And then I think Michael will get to do it now.
Yeah.
Transfer the money to the district. Yeah, so we'll set up some meetings.
Then Randy's gonna buy us a new chair.
Yeah, so how do we want to do this? Do we want to do a reduction in the price at $8 a foot, or what are we gonna do?
It's an expensive little piece of chair.
Yeah,
Thanks a lot, Randy.
Yeah.
This is the last time I come into this room.
You just leave the deed to a piece of property, we'll call it good.
Okay. Does that mean we're done?
We're done.
All right, Troy, are you wrapped up?
Stop recording us.
I haven't decided yet. Troy, do you want me to stop the recording?
You must be MIA here.
He's busy thinking and working there.
Jed, do you have anything else?
No, I'm good. Thanks, guys.
Okay. Marcos, did you have anything to add or finish up?
No, I think we're good. You know, if you guys need Nick to sign anything, and by a certain date, if you could just CC me on that as well, that'd be great. And then, you know, just let us know what you need, and I'll let Nick know to get that done as soon as possible.
Perfect. I'll send it out with DocuSign with you to receive a copy with that. It's just a copy, okay?
Okay, that's fine. Thank you.
Hey, one more question, Jed. Are you still there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Hey, we need to get together with you with regard to enhanced square footage. And Kim Morrow was saying that you and Mary Jo, are on some committee that could maybe walk through the enhancement reporting we have to do to the Joint Education Committee?
Oh, right. Yeah. I'm glad you brought that up. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So we'd just like some time with you. Are you available next week by any chance? This is my schedule.
I am actually going to be on vacation next week.
Oh, good.